Hey guys, Ken Yance here with Be Real Sales Training. Today, we're going to talk about something that is extremely important to your success in business and your personal life, and never anywhere more important than in sales. That is communication. Our ability to communicate will determine our level of success. I coach sales and in leadership, and I can tell you that those two work hand in hand. As a sales professional, you are actually taking the leadership of the client, of the process. You were kind of controlling, taking the lead in that situation, and a big component of that, a component is going to be your ability to communicate throughout that process. And so, this story here today, I want to share with you guys, really is kind of encapsulates the importance of communication, and kind of highlights how you can really fall on hard times if you do not get good at this skill. The great John Maxwell says here, effective communicators take something complicated and make it simple. Poor communicators take something simple and make it complicated. And guys, we've all been parts of that on both ends. We've been in situations where, man, it wasn't that difficult and we just was not given the right information. Communication did not flow, and something that should have been fairly simple derailed. I coached 78 sports teams in 6 different sports over my coaching career, and I can tell you that sports, it shows up really quickly when the communication is not working. There's times where you see in football where everybody goes except the center. Like everybody takes off and the center's still holding the ball. It's like, dude, what happened? Like literally, he did not get properly communicated, or did not hear, or really pay attention, whatever it was. He did not get the snap count, and so he didn't pull the trigger. Everybody, 10 guys went, and he didn't. So there's times where the quarterback turns to toss the ball, and the running back goes the other way. All this is communication, guys. So that shows up evident, but a lot of times these bad situations are showing up in our business, in our home life, in our relationships, and it's not quite as evident, but it's certainly there, and it is affecting you. Um, your ability to effectively communicate will determine your level of success. I believe that to be true in all aspects of your life. And I know, without you guys pointing out, that success has too many E's in it. I got a little carried away on the E button, so I want to apologize for that. So we'll go back and take that out later on. But here's a photo, and we're going to get into the story. And I know haters are going to say that's not me. It is what it is, man. That's obviously me back in the early '90s, with a produce manager. I'd actually had another full time job, wanted to keep working and making some extra money, so I worked part time. Had taken a part time job in produce. Didn't know very much about produce, but I wanted to get in there and make some extra money. They needed help. So I got in there. This is actually my second day on the job. And so he actually felt confident enough in me that he was going to leave me alone and go and take a lunch break. And here's the communication I received. Okay. I'll be gone for about 45 minutes, bag up 3 cases of lettuce, take the trash out, and uncap 30 cases of bananas. So that's the information. That was my marching orders. So I got right on it. He leaves, and here's proof, man. You can see right here again. Don't remember anybody taking this photo, but I'm glad they did. It does show, that I successfully took the trash out. Check, Roger that. And then on the lettuce, I bagged lettuce the first day. Just as 24 heads comes in a box. You take it out of the box, put it in a plastic, twist it up, tuck the little tab in, and then put them all back in the box, put them back in the cooler. You're done. So knocked it out. And then here's what you're seeing here is properly uncapped bananas. Guys, that you don't know, if you don't know this, bananas ripen at a very accelerated rate by their own gases. So when they wrap bananas up, box them up, they wrap them up in this plastic, and when they get to your store, to keep them from ripening too fast, you want to slow that process down as much as possible. And so what you do is you take the lid off, set the box down in the lid, peel the plastic back so that that gas can get out, and then just cross stack them. Um, and that is what uncapped bananas looks like there on your screen. So now, again, it's not what you say, guys, it's what they hear. I learned this lesson the hard way several times in the sports world whenever I was coaching young men, and in some situations young women. My ability to communicate, sometimes I said what I knew what it meant, but they were so raw and new to the game, they did not understand that terminology. So I had to kind of become a much better communicator. Again, it's not what you say, it's what they hear. Um, so I finished my list, man. And again, somebody snapped this shot of me out there on the produce floor. I had finished my list. I'm out there just straightening up stuff on the floor. Extremely proud of where I was at, what I was doing. I'd really knocked off that list pretty quick. And so I got about 10 minutes to spare. So I'm out on the floor. And next thing you know, produce manager comes back. Dude is furious. I don't know why, because in my mind, dude, I'm a superhero, bro. Like if you saw how fast I went through that list and just flawless execution, then he'd be singing my praises, man. But that's not the case. And here's why: because I had proudly cut all of the bunches of bananas into singles, proudly. Like I crushed it, dude. And you think about 30 cases, that's 40 pounds in every box. What that is 1,200 pounds of bananas that I cut the tops of the bunches off and put them back in their own box. And I did that for 1,200 pounds of bananas, man. Like I don't know, what he would be upset about. As it turns out, um, people don't like buying single bananas. As soon as bananas are single, it's like they are something's wrong with them, and you got to reduce them immediately. It don't matter if they're overripe, underripe. It doesn't matter if they're singles. There's something wrong with them inherently in a customer's mind, and they're not going to buy them. And bananas is a major component of the profitability of a produce department. So instantly, we have to cut these prices, these bananas, um, in half, basically, to get rid of them before they do go completely bad. Um, and here's the thing, like again, it's what not what he said, but what I heard. What he said was to uncap the bananas. What I heard was I need to cut the tops off of the bananas. Okay. And from my limited experience and knowledge of dealing with bananas, I thought in my mind, dude, like I have just, how much faster it would have been to simply take a lid off a banana and put the box in it and then peel it back and stack them back up like that. Dude, that would have been not, I mean, that'd have been taking me 3 minutes. Um, so it wasn't, I wanted to do all this extra work. I thought I was crushing it, man. And so we win or we learn. So what did we learn from that situation? We have to ask ourselves, whose responsibility did this communication fall on? This miscommunication, I should say. And it's perfectly clear. It's leadership. And I don't say that because I'm trying to pass the buck. I say that because if you fast forward 7 months from that second day on the job, I become a produce manager over a $25,000 a week rat. Um, Fast forward another 3 or 4 months, and I've got some regional responsibilities of helping other people do better at being a produce manager. What I learned and the reason I became good at those things is because I understood the importance of communication, proper, clear communication. I learned it, coaching sports, playing sports. I brought it into the workplace. I fell victim to it as a second day guy on the job. And I saw firsthand how poor communication is going to completely ruin any ability to be a good leader. So leadership definitely has to own these situations, guys. And we have all been probably on both parts, maybe not to that extreme, maybe even more extreme, where it was much more on the line than reducing some bananas. But we see this all the time, and what it tells us that we have to become more, dialed in and intentional about our communication. Your level of leadership will always be limited to your level of communication. Period. And the level of success of your business is going to be determined by your level of leadership. So ultimately, as you can continuously move back to the basics and the foundation of solid companies, solid, successful organizations, successful teams, successful families, successful churches, success. I mean, everything where there's more than one person involved, communication is involved. And so your level of success in that organization or that situation is going to be determined by your level of communication. So, again, reminder, it's not what you say, it's what they hear. So make sure you put yourself on the other side of the door, on the other side of the table, on the other side of the phone, whatever your sales process is. Look through the eyes and through the limited knowledge of the client that you're trying to work with, so that you become a better communicator and make them more comfortable. Guys, we talk about all the time, have comfortable conversations that lead to valuable relationships. Your comfortable conversations are going to stem from your ability to make them comfortable through being educated and being communicated to in a professional manner that makes them comfortable. You control that narrative. Okay. So that's the communication factor, guys. That's what it all comes down to. Um, and I just wish you all the best in your processes, and make sure, hopefully, that this gave you a little bit of clarity on. I mean, we need to make sure that we are over communicating, that we are properly communicating the right things, and we're doing it efficiently and abundantly, so that these people, our clients, stay, well versed on what the next steps are going to be, what's coming up around the corner. What are we working on now? What are the possibilities at this next stage of it could go this way or that way, but here's our preparation. We're ready for that. And all those things, no matter what you face in the process, if you have properly communicated on the front end and set the proper expectations, man, there's really nothing that you can't overcome and that you can't come out on the other side looking great at. I mean, to be honest with you, like, it sounds crazy, but sometimes the best reviews I got, well, more times than not, the best reviews I got was whenever things went sideways during a process. So when I was out selling roofs, for instance, things go wrong, go here and there, and it's an opportunity for me to, kind of be a hero and come in. And there's times where things went bad, but I had told them ahead of time that these were possibilities, and so they knew ahead of time that this was what was going to happen. I look like Nostradamus, and then I look like Superman because I come in and save the day, guys. It was all because of my communication through that process. Not that bad things don't happen; they're going to, but it's just your ability to communicate and think through and be a professional in setting that stage continuously and intentionally, so that they remain comfortable in the situation. So, guys, as we wrap it up, I just want to say to always be helpful, always be honest, and always be real.